With the Artemis 1 mission that successfully sent an uncrewed Orion spacecraft around the moon behind it, NASA has been focused on what comes next. Artemis 2, sending 4 astronauts on a mission around the moon in November of 2024. Reed Weissman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen just stopped by the Kennedy Space Center and for the first time had an opportunity to get up close to the Orion spacecraft that will take them on their journey.
And to the 4 of us sitting here, the measure of success for Artemis 2 is seeing our colleagues on the lunar surface, seeing our colleagues assembling Gateway, and then seeing people that are following in our footsteps walking on Mars and coming back to planet Earth. Like, that is the measure of success for us.
The hardware for Artemis 2 is, NASA managers say, on track to hit delivery dates to Kennedy Space Center and the launch date. The Navy is also busy, recently conducting spacecraft recovery tests in the Pacific. The biggest issue engineers are dealing with is the heat shield. During the first test flight, it sustained unexpected damage during re-entry. NASA is still working to figure out what happened and fix it, and won't put the crew on board until they do.
I know these guys really well, and I'm very concerned about their health and safety. And I want you to know that as we move forward, going to the moon, going to the South Pole, safety is going to be paramount. It's not without risk, but we're going to do our very best to understand all the issues, the risks, to mitigate them as best we possibly can to ensure the safety of this crew.
But the space agency can't afford long delays, acknowledging there is a space race to the moon. This time, it's with China, not Russia. And for NASA officials, the prospect of China getting there first is troubling.
I don't want China to get to the South Pole first with humans and then say, this is ours, stay out.
It is believed there is water, perhaps a lot of it, at the moon's south pole. Water that would be hugely beneficial when setting up future moon bases. While Artemis 2 appears on a good track to launch on time from here on Florida's Space Coast, the same can't be said for Artemis 3. That's the crew landing mission at the moon's south pole, penciled in for December of 2025. Much of that uncertainty stems from the SpaceX Starship. In April, its first orbital test flight ended in 3 minutes.
We should have had separation by now. Obviously, this does not appear to be a nominal situation.
NASA is relying on a lunar lander version of Starship to get astronauts to the moon's surface. But that can't happen until Starship completes successful Earth orbit refueling and an uncrewed lunar landing.
We're holding all the contractors to is that December of 25 date. We may end up, flying a different mission if that's the case. If we're have these big slips out, we've looked at can we do other missions if the possibility exists there.
NASA isn't saying what other missions they might consider. But right now, the priority is getting the Artemis 2 crew off the ground and around the moon in about 15 months. For MyRadar, I'm John Zarrella.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, Xbox, and Windows.